Hey guys, I'm here at Amherst and I'm joined by Duane here. Duane, why don't you introduce yourself and introduce the layout?
Okay, my name's Duane Engle. I'm president of the Reading Company Technical and Historical Society. We're the operators of this model railroad display along with the operators of the Reading Railroad Heritage Museum back in Pennsylvania, where we have 70 pieces of full-size Reading Company equipment that are on display besides the model railroading stuff that we do. We're here at the Amherst show. This is our third year here, and we have a model railroad layout that basically depicts a lot of scenes on the Reading Railroad that's 18 feet wide and 160 feet long.
Cool, then I guess let's start somewhere and you can give us a little bit of a tour.
Okay, yeah. All right. We'll start here at our yard that's at the end of the display. So the one end we model Allentown, East Penn Junction. This is modeling basically in the 1960s era. We jump different time frames throughout the scenes. They fit different eras. And at the opposite end of the yard is West Cressona, which is steam era, like 1940s.
So then, Duane, how many members are in this club?
Well, our society as a whole, we have about 850 members. Involved with this, at this show, there's about 20 of us that are involved with this show. Depends where we go as far as who can show up to help with traveling around. This is obviously the show that we travel the farthest for. It's a 5-hour drive to get here. Now you're working your way into Wayne Junction, Philadelphia. This is one of the passenger stations that was in the Philadelphia area that ran under the catenary, where they ran a lot of the commuter service type cars, but we modeled this section of Philadelphia.
And now, do you guys own individual modules, or are all these modules a part of the organization?
Some of the earlier modules are owned individually for those of us that have been with the group for a long time. But what we've been doing recently is we kind of pool our talents and work together. What you've just looked at here, this is in the Phoenixville area, the Reading's Black Rock Tunnel, and you come out of the tunnel and come right onto the bridge that goes over the Schuylkill River. Now we're moving into our area that is Sinking Spring, which is on the west side of Reading, and they had a drive-in movie theater that was right alongside of the railroad, and we modeled the drive-in movie theater.
So then, Duane, how do you decide what areas to depict?
It's kind of one of those things. If somebody has an area that they really like, we may decide to model that. We've picked some of the yards or scenes that we've done because they're very unique to the Reading. The scene that we're coming up to here was Seneca Haven. This is up in the coal regions area, one of the towns. Somebody built a model of the station for us, gave us the station. Well, once we got the station, which you're looking at right now, well, now we got to build a module to put it on. So we actually got old photographs and track charts and built the scene off of track charts, which we've done with quite a few of our scenes. Are actually following Reading Company plans and making it work to fit the model railroad.
Cool.
Now we're moving into the Harrisburg area. This is the rebuilt Rutherford Yard, where they turned it into a truck terminal.
And so I see that jump from eras right here.
Yes, yeah. It makes a big jump in era where you go from like the 1950s into the modern 1990s. This is actually over now in Jersey. This is the Hackensack Bridge, and then into the Hess Oil Refinery.
So then this is a DCC layout, correct?
Yeah, this is DCC. What originally built started out as DC, and then we made a conversion to DCC, and then we signaled the whole layout. The railroad actually operates on signals. You run your train by the signals that are there. This is the Sheps Dam Bridge, which is on the Reading Belt Line that goes around the city of Reading. It crosses the Schuylkill River, and then we come into the Carpenter Technology facility that is right on the other side of the bridge. This is my train that's going by right now. This is actually a model of the train that would have run from Allentown to Philadelphia. So this is actually train AP13, and this would have run out of Allentown in the late afternoon and went to Philadelphia.
So then how do you guys transport these modules?
How do we transport it?
Yeah.
We have 4 trailers, 4 14-foot or 3 14-foot trailers and 1 12-foot trailer. We have racks built that all the module sections go into the racks, and we have 4 pickup trucks that tow it to get it here.
So I'm guessing it's really a team effort.
Yes, it's a team effort, yes.
And so does this layout have a permanent home somewhere?
The only time the layout is set up is when we have a show. We do have a workshop where we can set up a bunch of the sections and work on them, but it's only up when we have a show. We just moved through Wyomissing Junction, which is near Reading, and now we're swinging into another scene that's in the Reading area. This is the Dana Parish complex where they built truck frames, and you can see the cars. Then we'll get around the flat cars that were used to transport the truck frames. So they made the frames in Reading, and then these frames would get shipped out to Detroit or wherever the plant was where they did the assembly. We're moving through our factory section and then into a little town that we call Fleetwood. It's a lot of buildings that were from the Fleetwood area. And then we actually split here. The section to the inside of the layout is our engine facility that we built for just having all our motive power. The main yard that's out towards the front, that is a model of the Stowe Yard near Pottstown, Pennsylvania. It was a local shifting yard, but we've enhanced it by adding a truck terminal and some increased locomotive facility work. But we shift a lot of trains out of here, make trains up, break them apart. We can route trains down. The dispatcher can set you up to route different directions here.
So then does the dispatcher also control these signals?
The dispatcher controls the signals and the switches just like they would on a real railroad. The program that we're using is from JMRI, and we're operating off of Digitrax, so the systems work together. When you're out with a train, you have to be the engineer and walk with your train to actually follow the signals.
That's cool. And then like in a typical yard, you have the manual switches, but on the main line you have the dispatcher
correct.
control.
All the yard switches are going to be hand throws, but when you get into the interlockings, anything that's on the main line that would be something where trains would run through at speed, that's controlled by the dispatcher. As we're making our way around here, we're coming into what is Beltline Junction. This is a big junction that was north of the city of Reading, where the Reading Beltline, the Blandon Low Grade, and the main line of the Reading all connected together. And we use this. This is a big routing location for operating the layout. We can cross over trains in all different directions at this spot.
Now I see here on the benchwork, the transfer table has a decoder address.
Yes.
So can you control it with a decoder like you would a locomotive?
Yep. Yeah, we can actually make that move back and forth by dialing up that address, and then you run the transfer table.
That's really cool.
We'll work our way, I guess, work over here to Beltline Junction. So this is actually modeled. I actually grew up very close to this location, and this models a lot of what the junction looked like. The Pennsylvania Railroad actually ran over the top. That's what the track is up top. And this was a major junction on the north side of the city of Reading. The next scene, we're moving into a big mill that was on the east side of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And then we're moving into the Bethlehem Steel complex that was in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. This you almost have to look at from the outside to catch everything on that. This models all the 4 furnaces that were there. This plant's no longer in operation, but this was the big plant for Bethlehem Steel. They made a lot of stuff here. There was a lot of train traffic in and out of Bethlehem. They moved the steel, they moved coal, they moved coke, iron ore. The Reading handled moving into the facility.
So then this module for Bethlehem Steel, does any of the buildings come off, or do you just move it as it looks like right now?
This pretty much right now as it is. This moves with everything fastened on. This does not come apart. So we have racks that have a lot of space in them to.
Yeah. So then is this module quite heavy then?
It's actually not that heavy, but it takes two of us to carry it.
Yeah, for sure.
Here you're looking at the dispatcher board, so it has the layout of how we have the layout set up. And depending on what kind of a show we go to, we have different configurations because we don't have everything set up the same way every time. So the configuration will change. But the dispatcher can see where the trains are. We have our trains are set up that we have resistors on the train cars so that the whole train is being detected as it goes around the layout.
So then every car has a resistor?
Most every car. You just have to have enough in your train spread out that it will show up. Now we're coming into Hershey. This is Dairy Road, just coming into the Hershey chocolate plant. And then this is the actual silos that were the bean silos and where they actually made the Hershey chocolate. And then on this end is just the start of what is Hershey Park. We're actually working on 3 more sections that will be actually the Hershey Park section with all the rides and all that stuff. We're hoping to have that out possibly next year for this show.
And then I see another jump in time here.
Yep, another jump in time. Now we're going back to steam days again. And this is another scene that's in the Bethlehem area. This is the Seneca Creek engine terminal. This was a yard that served Bethlehem Steel.
Now, with the facility here, do you normally leave the roof off, or does it go on?
We leave the roof off so that you can see the inside for the detail.
Cool.
And then you can see the steam engines when they're parked in there.
And I see a controller here controls the turntable.
Yep, controls the turntable. Yep.
So then all the accessory lighting for the buildings and everything, is that on a single circuit itself, or how do you control that?
We have 2 different actually 3 different bus systems that run around the layout. We have the bus system for the signals, we have the main power for the track, and then there's a separate bus that goes around for any lighting. And that have several different feeding locations for that.
And so does that enable you to kind of set up the modules pretty quickly?
Yeah, so just as for what we set up here, we started on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. We rolled in here with our trailers, started unloading. By 1 o'clock, the entire layout was standing.
That's impressive.
And by 5 o'clock, we were running 2 locomotives around the layout.
That's impressive. So do you
now we're into, this is a scene up in Schuylkill County. This is Coal Regions area. This is the largest breaker that served the Reading. This is the Locust Summit near Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. And this track area, the breaker used to have 34 tracks that served the breaker for outbound coal. They'd have raw coal come in, it would go through the rotary dumper, dump into the building, service through the breaker. So there you're looking at, there's a rotary dumper, and it would take the raw coal into the breaker, they would process the coal, and then they would reload the hopper cars, empties on one end, loads out the other. actually a picture of the actual breaker.
So then to get, I guess, inside the layout here, you have to go through the bridge here.
Yeah, we had one of our guys got very smart with a bridge concept, and this sets up very easy and makes it very easy to get in and out. And we can run trains right across it very easily.
And I saw a latch on the bottom. Is that how you keep it closed to prevent any derailments?
Just, well, more so just so that somebody doesn't lift it without putting it at the right place, you know.
And then we're back where we started.
Back where we started.
Well, that is really impressive. Is there any other comments you want to make about the layout, the society?
Well, as far as our society, so we are the Historical Society for the Reading Railroad. Obviously, the Reading Railroad ended in 1976 when it became part of Conrail, but we're trying to keep the memory of the Reading Railroad going and preserve the history. Like I say, we've got 70 pieces of Reading equipment that we managed to save from being scrapped.
Yeah.
Some operating locomotives that are in our museum. So, yeah, we're just, again, it's to represent the Reading, do what we can to bring back memories. We have a lot of people walk up to different scenes that are familiar with it and say, oh, I know right where that is.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Now you're seeing a train. This would be a typical coal regions train from like the 1950s with one of the old train masters pulling the 55-ton hoppers loaded full of coal. The Reading Railroad was the largest anthracite carrier of anthracite coal of any other railroad. They would take a lot of the coal, went from the coal regions into the Philadelphia area. Whether it either got loaded on barges or it went right to the cities for heating.
So then what part about this is your favorite? Is it doing the research to find out how you're going to construct it? Is it the scenery, the electrical?
I think for each one of us, it's something different. We have guys that love to just do the lighting stuff and do the electrical stuff. We have guys that I like to do the track work and run. I like to operate. Mm-hmm. I will actually take trains out. We have stuff set up where we have cuts of cars to go shift the industries, and we'll shift the industries just like you shift a real railroad. We have other guys that like to just do the scenery work. And we have some ladies that help work on this too, and they'll do the scenery work. So
it's, I think I said earlier, really a group effort.
Yeah, it's a group effort. There's probably about 10 of us that I would say are the core members that really put a lot of time into this, but then we have a good support group to help for doing things.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Duane.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, letting us take a look and telling us all about it.
Yeah, you may want to, just before you head out, go down along this side and get some picture from the front side of the steel mill. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. We know the video was on the longer end, but as Duane said, it was a very large layout and it was very intricate. There were a lot of details and we wanted to show off all of it to you. We will link all the information to the society down below so you can contact them if you want, and keep an eye out for future videos.